collecting reviews, good or bad or getting reviews. Restorations on memories.
Hello everyone, it's Alright here and welcome to another Transformers Siege review. And today we're going to be looking at Voyager class Soundwave here. Oh, look at that light piping already. Really cool. So I picked up this one a couple of weeks ago, actually before I got Ironhide, but it just so happens I reviewed Ironhide on the day that I got him, and Soundwave I didn't really have time to, well, it's not that I didn't have time, it's just other videos popped into my head and he was kind of put to one side. Now, Soundwave here, as you can see, is a Voyager scale figure, and he's got a lot of the battle damage that the Siege figures are now renowned for. That light piping looks lovely on camera, it really does. Now, he comes with 3 accessories. He comes with his bog standard Soundwave blaster, his shoulder cannon rocket launcher, and also this new weapon, which can be extended. It can be used as a battering stick, I guess. It can clip into the other weapons, like so, for some reason. So you can give Soundwave a really stupidly long rifle. Don't know why you want to do that, but you can do it nevertheless. It's okay to have these gimmicks and stuff like that, but great for kids, I suppose, but not for us collectors. I just like him with his bog standard normal blaster and his shoulder cannon. I think that works really well. We'll have a look at articulation on this guy. So his arms can do a full 360. Get a bend at the elbow, and it can go, well, just about 90 degrees. It is a double hinge by the look of it, which is pretty cool. Get a waist swivel. Legs can go all the way forward if you lift up this flap, and all the way back, and all the way out. You get a bend at the knee. You get ankle rockers. No real up and down movement. Head can do a full 360. Cannon. Oh, his head's come a little bit loose me doing that 360, which is a little bit odd. So there we go. Yeah, his head's actually went a little bit loose. It's the first time I've rotated it that far around. It's gone very loose actually. Very strange. Yeah, it's got a bit loose, but never mind. You get nothing at the wrists. So yeah, he's okay. I like the robot mode. I think the robot mode's really nice. Let's take a closer look at him. So here is a close-up of Soundwave. You can see he's a beautiful looking figure. That light piping is really glowing. The detail is a bit over the top here, but I think it works okay. It looks better in person than it does on camera. You've got some more of the dry brushing over the legs and over the arms, and I think it works quite well. I like the gold paint. Light piping is absolutely stunning. On the back, cleans up pretty well. Arms are a little bit hollow in here. These things here pop off all the time and are really frustrating. I'm not a fan of those. But all in all, I mean, it's a beautiful looking robot mode. As I said before, you can put his gun in one hand and his new Star Blaster in another if you want to go for a dual wielding look. And I think he's really cool. So one thing I wanted to point out is Soundwave here does have this little finger pointing out, so you can actually get him. So he's pressing his cassette deck. And that's a pretty nice touch from Hasbro. So here is Soundwave's official alt mode. A kind of space carrier with a tape deck on the back. It's bleeding awful, to be honest with you. Things don't tab in right. These just hang and are loose. It's an awful alt mode, to be honest. I think it's probably the worst alt mode in the season on, and probably the worst alt mode we've had in a long time in the Transformers line. It's awful. It's a bit silly that they've gone down the route of... I don't mind making him a space carrier or a spaceship or a van or anything, but just make him something that looks like what it's meant to be, not just a flying ironing board. It's just... It's rubbish. Well, it's such a shame because the robot mode is absolutely stunning. Now, people will say, oh, it should be a cassette player, and other people will say, well, why would you have a cassette player in the year 2019 and all that kind of stuff? Well, we had one in the Titans Return line. It was a boombox. And if you want to redesign Soundwave, why put the cassette deck in? And it is blatantly a cassette deck. I understand why they've done it for fan service, but if you look at the Fall of Cybertron games and everything like that, Soundwave's alt mode and that I was fine with. This is just utter rubbish. Now, slightly better, but still not brilliant, is this, well, is lamppost or is it artillery gun mode? It's basically Soundwave transformed from the waist down, and some weapons piled on top of antennas and stuff like that. I think it works better than the official spaceship mode. It's still not the best, to be honest with you. I'm not quite sure what it's trying to be. Is it a gun turret? Could another Decepticon stand behind here and use him as like an artillery gun? I know it's meant to pay homage to the Arrival from Cybertron episode, or More Than Meteor, depending on which video, VHS or DVD you've got, where it transforms into kind of a lamppost mode. But this is, even though it's okay, it's neither here or there in my opinion. You may as well go the whole hog and just make him look like he did in that episode with his arms stretched out and his head folded away. This isn't another fan mode, but it works okay. I think, to be honest with you, a funny thing about this Transformer is it works better when he's not being a Transformer. You can get to some half-decent fan modes based on what you've got to start with, but the official transformation mode is pretty rubbish. And you can have fun with this character, of course you can, but this toy is obviously at its best within robot mode. I'm messing about with this guy a little bit further. I've managed to find a half-decent boombox mode. I think a few people have done this. It looks okay. It looks better than an official mode anyway. So, you may have noticed that my beard's got a little bit longer and my hair's got a little bit longer. And that's because I filmed the first part of that video weeks ago. And I just didn't finish it off. And other things have got in the way. So, I kind of decided to finish it now, as I did film most of it. But in the meantime, I've got a few friends for Soundwave. I've got Lazerbeak, and I have, I can put it in front of the camera, Ravage here. Now, Lazerbeak is probably the best out of the two. If we have a look at him here, he's got the very cartoon accurate Cybertronian head, which I quite like, but I kind of wish they'd gone the whole hog and just gave him the round wings like he was in the cartoon. This is kind of a halfway house, and it's okay. It transforms as Lazerbeak should. It's pretty simple to change into tape mode. So yeah, and he does fit inside a resident cassette player here pretty well. And that actually is a nice look. I really like the colour shining through. It adds something really to this figure. It's quite a cool little toy, but from the back you can see there's some big gaps in there and everything like that. Transformed up. Now they have thought of something really quite cool with this figure, and it's failed miserably. So there are little notches on his feet, and there are little grooves in Soundwave's arm. And what should happen is you clip Lazerbeak onto there, and he holds. Problem is, he doesn't hold, he just falls off. So what I've found the best thing to do is if you spread his bird legs a little bit wider, there's a peg inside here, which is used for making the cassette into kind of a shield, which is stupid. But you've got a port on his arm, so just spread the legs a little bit and stick him on the port on his arm, and he falls off and it doesn't look that stupid or anything like that. So that's how I'm going to be attaching Lazerbeak to his arm, which is pretty cool. Ravage is a bit of an odd one. He's very wide, his head's very small. His cassette mode is a little more fiddly. I'm going to have to try and remember how to do this. So you're going to have to bear with me a moment. Yeah, I don't think Ravage is the best toy. It's a shame, really. Have we ever had a good Ravage figure? Maybe leave that in the comments below. There's also a lot of talk on Twitter at the moment. I don't know if anyone's seen it about, is Ravage is he a cat or is he a dog? And the one thing I've never quite understood is, I can understand Cybertronian vehicle modes, but where do Cybertronian animal modes come from? I mean, obviously in the Bumblebee movie, Ravage here was a cat on Cybertron before they even got to Earth, or a jaguar, or a dog, or whatever you want to call him. It was an animal. There he is in cassette mode. He flattens out, essentially. This set isn't the best, if I'm honest with you. I think Ravage is pretty weak, and Lazerbeak is okay. Soundwave in robot mode is utterly fantastic. He is one of the best Siege robot mode figures. He's really nice. And to be honest, once you muck about and get some decent fan modes out of him, he's got some okay up modes as well, but not his official ones, as you can see. He looks good as a complete set here with Lazerbeak, and I think I prefer Ravage actually just sitting in his chest, because his animal mode isn't the strongest. But I think that's a nice little set. But to be honest with you, it should have been a set that came together rather than apart. I only paid £11 for Ravage and Lazerbeak, and that feels too much. It really does feel too much. To pay £5.50 each for these, they're now more complicated than some of these bots, and they feel quite thin, especially the legs, and this grey plastic feels so thin. So that's a shame, but you can't get a Soundwave without any of his minions. So, yeah, it was one of those things. I'm happy I've got them, but one thing I am learning about this Siege line is that the majority of the Deluxes and Voyagers are really sound figures. The one leader I've got, Ultra Magnus, is a pretty cool figure as well. I haven't got Shockwave, I haven't got the new Optimus Prime, and there's another leader that's coming out which I can't remember. But I haven't got any of those. But I will say the Micromasters and the cassettes are pretty weak. Full of nostalgia, but actually the delivery of them, the actual toy itself, is quite weak. But this has been a video about Soundwave anyway. And what are my final thoughts on him? Every Transformers fan loves Soundwave, and not many Transformers fans have him displayed in his tape deck mode. I actually do. I have a Soundwave over there in tape deck mode, but you're buying for his robot mode, and this has got everything that you want from a Soundwave. Aesthetically, it's really nice. You can get minions for him. It comes with all his G1 accessories and an extra accessory which is now living on his back. And you can get that for, what, $23.99 in the UK? Which is next to nothing, really. Considering to what we were paying for some of those bloody, the last night, or was it the last night? Deluxes that were premium edition rubbish. This is pretty well made. It's got a few flaws, but it is a recommend from me. But just accept the fact that his alt mode isn't the best. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've been Salt Rider, and I'll catch you again soon.